Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fandifi's live demonstration and corporate update webinar. This is David Vidala from RBMG. Fandifi is listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol FDM and on the OTCQB under the symbol FDMSF. Joining us today is the company's president and CEO, David Vinokurov, and company advisor, Joshua Neely, who will be providing a demonstration of Fandifi's prediction and fan engagement platform, as well as an update on the company's current operations and upcoming milestones. At the end of the presentation, we will open it up for questions for management to address. If you are interested in asking a question and are logged into the web Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your questions to us directly in the Q&A module. Please note, this presentation is being recorded today, Wednesday, March 1st, 2023, and will soon be made available on the company's website at fandifi.com. Today's call may contain forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results, performance, or developments to differ materially from those contained in the statements and are not guarantees of future performance of the company. No assurance can be given that any of the events anticipated by the forward-looking statements will occur, or if they do occur, what benefits the company will obtain from them. Also, some risks and uncertainties may be out of the control of the company. Fandifi has a full disclaimer on page 2 of the presentation. Lastly, RBMG is not a registered investment advisor or broker-dealer. For more information, please visit rbmilestone.com. And now I'll hand it off to David and Joshua. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Thank you, David. I'd like to thank everybody that took time to join in today, all our existing and potential new shareholders. And I'm happy to go over our progress to date, our plans moving forward, and very excited for Joshua to give you a demonstration of our platform based on all the feedback we got from our beta launch last year. So let me get right into that. Basically the trends that we're addressing in the sports technology and content generation community is the declining in viewership and obviously the shortening of attention spans, right? We see across all the major league sports, declines in viewership across all the major age demographics. Furthermore, we see an increase in streaming platforms and of course, the billions and billions of hours of content that are being generated. What we see when we compare the two different types of content is you see a transition in viewership patterns away from long form content to shorter form content across a variety of different types of styles, whether it's sports, esports, how-to tutorials, or various general interest subjects. What we see on the bottom right here is a very powerful chart that really illustrates, the problems that major sports leagues are facing. The gray bar is the actual amount of inaction in a sports broadcast, right from the NFL, NHL, some Major League Baseball obviously is one of the major, ruining the viewership trends. But, specifically, we saw that Major League Baseball has enacted new rules to speed up the game, right? 20 seconds for a pitch, batters that can't be out of the batter's box, right? We saw Major League Baseball content get up to 4 hours long. And now, based on the initial feedback from, what we saw in the minor leagues last year, to even in spring training this year, is that broadcasts are getting back to 2.5 hours in length. Now, again, when I, juxtapose that against the short form content that we've seen the explosion of, that most short form content, is about 7 to 8 minutes long. Obviously, we're all familiar with TikTok and the length of those videos are 30 seconds. So, the challenge that's facing everybody as a content creator is how do we compete for people's engagement? How do we compete for their attention? And how do we reward them for that attention? That's really where Fandifi comes in. What we've done with our technology is we've gamified the viewing experience. There's always action going on, whether it's a prediction that the system is pushing, that's generated by our neural network backend, coming from the data feeds from professional sports, whether that's custom generated questions coming from the content creators themselves, or whether that's from the gamification elements that we've built in that we can overlay on top of a broadcast or a stream. Joshua will go through some of the gamified elements that we've included, cheering, doubling up on bonus points, blocking another team from cheering, asking them relevant questions within the context of that stream. So really changing the way that people view broadcast and stream content. what we're offering our partners is a deeper a level of understanding of the data viewership patterns, right? The fact that I may watch a League of Legends match and then may go watch a Madden NFL match, and maybe then I would only go watch an actual NFL match. We know that the demographic patterns are switching across all the different age groups, across the different content buckets, and there's no common thread to connect people from one channel to another, never mind from one type of content to another. That's the type of data engagement that we can provide our partners, that we will be providing our partners, while at the same time providing to the Fandifi players, a deeper way to engage with what they're watching. What our motto is: play, predict, get rewarded, watch, swipe, and win. What we're trying to really do is to unify the viewership experience, to bring that in-stadium experience into the palm of your telephone. So as you're watching, whether you're live in the stadium and swiping on the next goal or the next play, or whether you're watching that at home, we're closing that feedback loop, allowing you to interact with content. Again, whether that broadcast is embedded in our platform or whether you're using Fandifi as a second screen fan engagement tool, while simultaneously pushing ads and brand activations into the palm of your hand while you're watching that content, right? Most people, when they, I know what I do when there's a commercial on TV, I either fast forward through it or I get up and I go get a soda. What we can do with our technology is push activations to you live in the context of a match. Never mind, will the next play be a pass or a run? Will the next tower get taken out with the bomb? Did you see the, Adidas commercial? Do you want a coupon for Taco Bell? That's the type of engagement that we're able to push with our advertising technology. This platform that we've engineered is super simple. As I mentioned before, we put up the beta of our platform last November. Joshua and the team started an organic outreach campaign to get people engaged in the platform. We set up all of our social media channels, including a Discord channel, where we got feedback from the general community, gamers, sports fans. We also did select demonstrations for partners, professional teams, leagues, tournament organizers. It's super simple now to log in and find your favorite content, watch, swipe, and win, play, predict, get rewarded. Instead of me talking about it endlessly, I'll hand it over to Josh, who will actually walk you through the platform itself and show you some of the features and functionalities and improvements that we've put into the platform. So excuse me for a sec, I'll just stop sharing, and Mr. Neely, take it away, sir.
Yeah, bear with me. I'm just going to share the screen now. Here you go. Now everyone should be able to see the login screen. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds just in case there's any latency. And ultimately what we have here with Fandifi is the new login screen. You can log in with your email, password, all of the old accounts still work. You can, of course, sign up, register through all the usual formats. Once you log in, you get to this screen here. There is a live section. That can show live games, there's calendar, which you can see now, there's upcoming, and so on. That allows you to sort of browse and go through the games. Now, there is no live just at the moment because we don't have it currently on our live system, but we have the calendar feeds and all of our upcoming in, as you can see now. When you want to choose a game or you want to go and view stuff, obviously the calendar view allows you to choose different dates. So if you know there's certain events happening on a Saturday or later on in the week, you can go and choose those days, such as now the Six Nations of Rugby is going on, so I know I can join all of those on a Saturday. Likewise, if I want to see all the upcoming games, I can just scroll through all the upcoming games that I filtered earlier as an interest to me, which you can do through this account. Through your account, you can do things like set a profile page, choose a membership class. We do have subscription memberships to get rid of things like adverts, your win, your losses, so all of your recent history of your game sort of results. You can follow and be followed. And of course, you can create events on this platform, so all your previous events that you've created and those results. Most importantly, you've got the games down here. So this is where you can choose all the things that you're interested in, whether it's sports, games, and so on. Here I've got League of Legends and Counter-Strike, so I'll just choose those. And when I go back to, say, even my calendar view, I'll just have those specific games shown to me. So what happens is when I want to go and join a specific game, I click on it. I can join a game as a fan or a spectator. A fan means that there'll be a score, a fan score for the team that I support. So in this case, I'm going to go for the win. I ignore my right clicks here. And I get given the initial neural network AI generated questions. These can be set by a host or someone else anyway, which you'll see later. But within here, what you'll see is I have all these questions. And once I've answered them, I'll go through to this next screen where I can see the events live in 2 days. But I have all of the events and answer stats here. These answer stats are what other people have answered. And if I feel like, hey, 99% of the people have answered yes, or I realize tomorrow that my favorite guy's gone through this chat, everyone's telling me that, hey, you've got something wrong or I'm missing something, I can change my answer here. So I can change my answer to say yes. Changing an answer does cost a little bit of energy. Energy is sort of like an additional sort of thing you can buy in this game to allow you to make these extra interactions. The game is, of course, free to play, and you do get free energy to make these interactions as well. But for the heavy user or the one that's really obsessed with a score, no. Now, creating an event is also simple. So if I have something going on, me and Dave in this case, I've pre-made one, have a team. I can choose a game here. It could be absolutely anything. I could put in a stream. It's suitable for an influencer and also team events. If I do team events, I can obviously put in images, I can set team names and so on. Or if I'm just an influencer influencing people with my influence, you can see so here. I essentially choose a date, I choose a time that I want the stream to happen, a duration. I can set a reminder to all those people that I've invited. That'll appear in a notification tab at the top. I can add a moderator, I can make it private. As you can see, if I remove myself as a moderator and I go and add myself again, you can see there's me, Mr. Neely. Then what you can do after this is once I've set my event, my names, I have all of these artificial intelligence neural network derived questions. I can go and type in my own. So I can enter my own custom question, will be Y or so on. But I do have another option. So BBY, I add this. I have another option where I have these topics. And these topics, depending on the game I've chosen, or the deeper we get, the neural network and the processing ability we have will auto-generate these really smart questions based on the game. So if it's ice hockey, the ice hockey related questions and so forth. Once I create the game, the event is obviously successfully created. It will appear in the calendar within, a couple of minutes for people to go and choose and select. Of course, all of my friends will be invited to that too. As I said, you've got a notification and search bar at the top. And if I click into an actual game that's already live here, so here's an actual influencer-based game, you can see there's League of Legends playing here. This is a bit of the rawest part of what we have at the moment live, but we have the ability here on both the left and right hand side to essentially ask a question, skip a question if I don't like it, and that's asking a question to anyone. I could ask the entire crowd or the opposing team if I think they'll score the next goal. I can go and cheer for my team, which gives me points towards my fan score or my stream or streamer for that matter. I can also block the ability for people to cheer here. There is actually a points multiplier in a chat bar. So the other ability is a points multiplier, which will appear in the chat. And all the functions and everything I do will obviously appear with nice animations and so on. And just to be very, very brief with you and make sure that I don't keep you here all day, that is essentially the core of the Fandifi system as we have it currently. Thank you. And Dave, if you want to unmute yourself and share again.
I will unmute myself. Thank you, Joshua. Yeah, so that's very exciting. Joshua's, walked us through the entire use case scenario again, whether it's from an individual streamer, right? Could be a game player, could be someone doing a makeup tutorial, could be someone doing a cooking show. Will I be using basil Will I be using Pepper, all the way down to the team sport level? Really what we've tried to do is use our IP, which allows us to take data in, to absorb questions that content creators put that they categorize to specific types of content, and then present that to the audience. Really, that's a large part of our secret sauce. It's not just people doing free text-based questions to each other. The system learns them, the system suggests them, and ultimately at scale, when we do have the data feeds, we can provide a very contextually rich experience to professional sports fans, to professional esports fans, that can keep them constantly engaged. So as they're watching their favorite type of content, they're able to swipe continuously throughout the length of that event, and keep engaged with the content. What's really most important about the platform is that it underpins some very significant lines of revenue for the company. As Joshua mentioned, there are player and streamer subscriptions to get an ad-free experience. Enterprise solutions and partnerships. Really, this is what, when I talk about some of the partnerships that we've just signed that I'd really like to get into. If I'm an individual streamer, if I'm an individual fan, the platform is entirely free to use, right? We're not looking to charge everybody money to use the platform. In fact, quite the opposite. We're trying to foster a very large community and empower communities of existing content creators, right? We don't want to put them behind a paywall. But what we do want to do is provide additional features and value add features that we can monetize. And some of those things that Josh mentioned are, the question templates, dynamic leaderboards, etc. Right? So furthermore, much more in-depth data analytics as well, both to the individual streamers and to teams. To the teams themselves, there are enterprise solutions that we enable, full website integrations, deployment of our own moderators to specific events, right? To be able to facilitate, the context of hockey, sorry, I'm Canadian. Will the Toronto Maple Leafs win the next face-off? Did you agree with that referee's call? Will they score on this power play, right? That's something that data feeds don't operate with at any real sense of speed. Hence, when you see in the wagering side that a very large hole in the market for true play-by-play wagering, not in-play wagering, but on every single play after every single whistle. That's something we can facilitate through our fan engagement platform, again, because of the reduced latency that we can push with our prediction capabilities. So again, player and streamer subscriptions, enterprise solutions and partnerships. I'll explain what that looks like in a moment. Advertising and data sales, right? While people are playing the platform at home as a second screen fan engagement tool, we have a lot of real estate in the screen that we can, host advertising in. If people would like to stay away from that type of advertising, by all means, the premium subscription is available. With respect to the in-game play features that Joshua was talking about, in terms of buying power-ups, blocking questions, changing answers to get higher fan scores, to qualify for the prizes, to be higher on leaderboards, there is an in-platform purchase capability. You're basically buying energy to take advantage of those additional features. We have numerous payment integrations right across the world already into the platform. So that's another avenue for us to generate revenue. And then ultimately, what the goal is for the company is to integrate with not only a sports team, but a sports league. A lot of them have broadcasting deals, and become a truly vertically integrated fan engagement platform, right? From the broadcaster to the league, to the team, to the players, to the fans. There are custom white label solutions that we can build out for these types of situations. And then, those are more one-off types of situations, but that's ultimately our goal. We'd like to have, a league Fandified by Fandifi, if you will. On the enterprise model, basically the way that licensing would work is, on a professional sports league, it's a per game license. On the minor leagues, tier A, B, and C, we would be charging different rates for each season license based on, the professional level. So it's a very large addressable market for us, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Where do we fit into the sports technology matrix? We have Socios, which is kind of crypto related. What they've been trying to do is to create fan engagement, very basic chat-based fan engagement around soccer predominantly. There's a crypto component, obviously. I won't get into the macro issues with crypto lately, but it's a different type of fan engagement. With the major streaming and broadcast platforms, the way they engage with their fans is simple. Either pushing you ads while you're watching with your eyes. There's been very little innovation with that. They charge monthly subscription, whereas our unique position is we combine the fan engagement with the viewership, with the rewards, with brand activations, all really within the palm of your hand on a mobile basis. Where we've been, where we're going, some of the partnerships that we've done, we have come a very long way since we've started building the platform as you see it. Started building it about a year or so ago after we put up, our wagering platform, which, we're sunsetting, due to the significant cost wins in the wagering industry and the stratospheric customer acquisition costs. But in terms of the process where we are with the platform, as we've demonstrated today, we put the beta up November 7th. We had a couple thousand people go through it, test it, some partners go through it, provide us all our feedback, which was the basis for what we saw today. We're in the process of launching the platform now. The platform will be in production in the next week or so, maybe two, as we do finish the QA/QC testing. We're generating all of our go-to-marketing material sales packages as we speak. And we're going to sign partnerships, sign up leagues, sign up teams. We have the esports partnerships that we've been working with before. The first thing that we're going to be doing on the esports side of things is working with individual influencers, again, because I think the gaming community is, maybe 100 times larger than the esports community. So it's a question of working with the micro influencers up to, macro influencers and working our way up. That can get quite an expensive proposition. So, work with some strategic influencers there, and we'll be making some announcements on that in the next couple of weeks. And then, we've been speaking with some fantastic sports organizations through our advisors. As I mentioned, we added Renjin Bao to the advisory board over the summer. He's the head of Tencent Sports in North America. They're working with the major leagues, Major League Baseball, NFL, NHL, Formula One, tennis, et cetera, et cetera. They're the exclusive broadcasters of those sports leagues in China. So, we're working really closely with them to tailor make the business package to suit the dynamics of each league. So, that's very exciting. And our last advisor, Ryan McCumber, he introduced us actually to our latest partner, FanSaves, which we just announced last week. FanSaves is a fantastic organization, Canadian-based private company that provides brand activations to professional and minor league teams. They're working with 70 organizations right now across 20 sports leagues. They've got some fantastic announcements coming up soon. They're working with baseball, hockey, football, rugby, basketball leagues right across North America. And it's a fantastic opportunity for us to partner with them because really, as we are pushing our fan engagement through the predictions, we can also push the offers that they're already working with these clubs on. So there's huge synergies there. So we're going to be actively going through these sports leagues and, making the use cases and gathering the data to go to our friends in the professional leagues and say, look, here, we worked with the minor league hockey team here. We worked with the minor league basketball team. This is the case that we can make on the professional level. So we're just streamlining our onboarding practices as we speak. And, FanSaves, they've done a fantastic job, Shannon and Chris. Like I said, they got about 40 teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they got several hundred teams by this time next year. And like I said, we're closely nipping at their heels. So going to market with sports teams, going through esports influencers, gaming influencers, then to some esports tournaments, and then potentially to some professional esports teams. There's been a lot of churn in that industry lately. So like I said, we've got some very significant opportunities ahead of us. We are a public company. Everyone is here is an investor. I really do thank you for your support. The stock has been a little soft lately, as have all pre-revenue tech companies. But that being said, given the opportunities that we have in hand, I think it's a fantastic time to invest in the company. There's nowhere to go but up. I really would like to thank our team, Christian and Stan on the tech side, Joshua on the gamification side, all of our various advisors who are helping me and, we're all helping each other put these pieces together to create these opportunities for the company. I think 2023 is going to be a very exciting year where we finally get to go to market with our unique offering, make some meaningful partnerships. We've got the tech, we've got the team, we've got some great shareholders. We're very excited, and I think there's a bright future ahead for the company. So on that note, give it back to Mr. Vidal and let me know if there's any additional questions. Happy to go through them with you.
Sure. Thank you, David, and thank you, Joshua. If you're interested in asking a question and are logged into the Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your questions to us directly in the Q&A module. And while we wait for those to develop, we have received some questions during the registration process. So let's begin. David, what do you think is the biggest challenge Fandifi is facing?
The biggest challenge that we're facing really is the education of our customers, right? When we talk about predictions, I've always alluded to things in my previous presentations. I know I had some pre-questions. Am I going to touch my nose? Is Joshua going to touch his ear? And then, why would someone bet on that? How can you bet on that? And really, what we're trying to really do is to demonstrate the difference between a prediction and a wager, right? Everyone bets on the Super Bowl, supposedly. Well, actually, only 30% of the viewers bet on the Super Bowl. What do other 70% of the fans do, right? That's the opportunity that we're going after with Fandifi. That's the education that's required. Because again, even some of the minor league teams that we're speaking with, those aren't necessarily bet on because there's no odds lines on those. What you can see from our user interface, which has been significantly cleaned up even from our beta, is that there's no, you look at it, you don't say this is a wagering platform, right? So as we educate our partners and put the right marketing material in front of them, we're going to start seeing results.
Great. All right. Thank you. Who do you suppose is Fandifi's main competition?
I think our main competition are the wagering companies themselves, again, because there's a blurry line that we're trying to clarify of what is a prediction, what is fan engagement, and what is an actual wager. There's lots of competition on the fan engagement side, right? When you go to see a sport live, right, there's they're trying to sell you t-shirts, or whether it's 50-50 raffles, on-field challenges and so forth. That's what they're doing, is trying to compete for your engagement, for your attention. We are something that, ads is added into that mix, but I think where our advantage lies is that we're able to combine all of those elements into one streamlined platform. Again, that fits in your mobile platform, and it's very easy to integrate with.
Yep, agreed. Next question. When do you think Fandifi should expect to generate revenue and profit?
Well, revenue and profit are two different things. We can start generating revenue, the moment that the platform goes live. Like I said, we have numerous payment integrations for global solutions. We can sacrifice growth for profitability. The question is, the next question would be, when do you get 1 million people on the platform? As we know, there's organic growth, and then there's growth that we can acquire through partnerships. Those partnerships require marketing support. So unfortunately, I don't want to make a forecast of profitability. But like I said, we run a very lean operation right now. It's less than $200,000 a month Canadian is more or less our burn rate as we speak. So, we can get there fairly quickly. Obviously, we'd like to make a larger impact on the global scene. So, it's a delicate process for us, but we can start generating revenue the moment the platform is completely live, like I said, in the next week or two.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. What are Fandifi's plans for the NFT space?
For the NFTs have been a unique position. We have partnered in the past with Matic, Polygon, to generate NFTs on the fly. There has been some significant headwinds in the crypto space on the regulatory side of things as a public company, right? That we don't have any immediate plans to do that. But again, when it comes to rewards on the platform, in terms of digital rewards that we can offer for engagement with the Fandifi platform, we can offer avatars, screen templates, all types of unique digital content in the form of an NFT. So, we can activate that. But in the meantime, we don't foresee anything on the NFT side for the next 24 months or so until things clear up on that side of the market.
I agree. I got you. Somebody submitted a question regarding Fandify's patents. I think that should be addressed.
So the technology that we're built on is called, it's a unified information access platform that functions like a neural network. So that technology was developed initially by Christian and Stan at their private tech company. They use that technology to manage the data flows in smart hospitals. So the unique part of it was what Josh demonstrated, where we can suggest the questions based on the content, based on the past history, and do that relatively quick and in a flexible manner. We own all of that IP as it applies to sports, esports, and streamed content. So that IP is ours. There's a question here in the chat. Do we have any patents? There are no patents on our technology or Christian and Stan's core technology. And the viewpoint is simple. If you can replicate the technology, go ahead and do it. Good luck to you. It might take you a couple $100 million and who knows how many years. We're not interested in publishing our blueprints for other people to copy. So we own our IP. Good luck for anybody else to develop it, right?
Exactly. Agreed. Okay. When it comes to gamification and exposure, would Fandifi be exploring future collaboration with DeFi gaming platforms like Gala Games or Axie Infinity?
Yeah, listen, our partnership strategy is very, it's very specific and it's very broad. If your content is watched by someone, we can partner with you, right? Now it's broad in the scope. Like I said, it can be a baking show, it can be a Web 3.0 platform, Axie Infinity, League of Legends, the NHL, Champions League, cricket in India, whatever it is. We're content agnostic and we're data feed agnostic, so we can Fandify anything.
That's a fair point. And that goes to a couple questions we received about Fandifying, say, a political debate, per se, with the upcoming elections next year, or a poker game, World Series of Poker.
Yeah. I'm just looking through some of the questions here. Again, we're content agnostic. So, is David going to scratch his nose? Is David going to drop a pair of aces? Did you agree with David's comments on Medicare? Did you agree with Joshua's comments on, transportation logistics? So it's really what our specialty is on the technical side is data alarm triggering. So, pushing data, receiving that data, and integrating with systems, right? What we've done with Fandifi is we presented it in a graphical way that allows us to interact with any stream content, right? You can imagine, I'm looking at myself on a computer screen and, I see my last screen here and then myself moving in my little window. And then, just imagine, did you like what David said? Do you agree with what he said? Is the stock price going to go up? Is the stock price going to go down? We're only limited by our imagination as to where we can apply that type of feedback.
Oh, thank you. There is some confusion. Somebody asked a question about whether Fandifi is currently on Twitch.
So the way it works, so Fandifi, without any broadcasts in it, is a second screen fan engagement tool. The way that we would activate an individual streamer is if you go to their Twitch channel, you'll have their Facebook page, their Instagram page. They'll put up, their Fandifi page. Once you'd click on that, you'd be in a second screen. So it'd be a widget on the screen. So as you're watching their content, you'll be swiping left and right with your mouse. Did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? In the context of a live event, right? Whether it's an esports tournament or, a sports event, you walk in, scan the QR code and you're automatically in the event, right? If I can just go up a couple images here. Let's see if I can do that. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there you go. So whether you're at home or on the event, right? If you're at home on the TV, the broadcaster would broadcast a QR code. And at the end of the day, you're holding your phone in your hand. We're unifying that viewing experience. So we don't have any Twitch integrations as they are now. If there was a Fandifi area on Twitch, email me, david@fandifi.com. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but I'm happy to look into it and have a discussion with you on that. So maybe we can move on to the next question then.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. All right, we're going to take one more question. And that deals with Fandifi's marketing push coming into 2023 and beyond. Go ahead.
Yes, like I said, so just to go back a couple more screens here, sorry. We put the beta up in November, brand new entire platform, new applications for our technology. We got feedback from individual fans that signed up that, Joshua, as marketing efforts brought to the platform, from people we've been speaking to, influencers, business partners who are, affiliated with high-level sports teams, etc. They brought us, concrete feedback. This is confusing. What does this do? How does that work? We've taken that feedback. We've put it into this platform. We're doing the QA testing this week. The platform will be in production. As that's finalized, as these new features are crystallized right now, all of this is being put into, sales and marketing material, right? When I go to, one of these, enterprise customers, website integrations, advanced predictions, in-arena premium setup and support, advanced data metrics. We need to demonstrate and show what this looks like. So, here's the package, here's what it costs, here's what you get, here's the onboarding process, here's the marketing support material that we're giving you. And, we can integrate you in, fairly quickly, actually. We can do an integration with a data scrape off a sports team's website in a matter of hours. And that's what it costs. So this process is beginning right now. We are at the tail end of, basketball and hockey seasons. There's new seasons coming up. So, my goal is to, make an impact with these teams as quickly as possible, get the data we need to go to the major sports leagues as well. And at the same time, we're focusing on the influencers to start bringing them on and their communities on as we speak. So, we're coming out of beta and going to production. Right? Now's the time, and hence the opportunity to invest, I guess. And then one of the questions that I see in the chat here, there's no plans, any kind of stock splits or anything like that. So.
Well, thank you. I do have one more question, and if somebody was interested in setting up a full live demo privately with you or with Joshua, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, like I said, just email me direct, david@fandifi.com, and we can set that up. If there's, some questions that I didn't elaborate on, I'm happy to speak with any of our shareholders. I like to think I'm very accessible to them all the time. If something's not clear, give us a call. You want to see the in-depth demo and poke around, you'll be able to do that because the platform will be live. But, again, depending on the nature of your question or inquiry, or if you have a referral for us, contact us directly. There we go.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, David. And thank you, Joshua. And thank you, everyone, for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar recording will soon be made available on Fandifi's website. And if you have any additional questions that have not been addressed on this webinar, please feel free to email us at fandifi@rbmilestone.com. Again, that's fandifi@rbmilestone.com. Thanks again, and you're now free to disconnect.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.